Hi, it is time for a July update, and I am in beautiful Mount Lake Terrace, Washington, just north of Seattle, spending a few weeks with my muses, which is the name that we have given to our group of writer friends who met in Greece in October. So I am going to tell you right now that the PhD the progress kind of got put on hold after I presented my preliminary findings for 2 of the 25 cases I'm working on in Dublin, first week of July at the European Conference of Positive Psychology. So something happened in July, but I kind of already covered it during my last update. And then I effectively put a pin in it and said, we're going to shift gears now to vacation, self-care, and writing. So that's what's happening. My memoir progress is interesting. So I started working on restructuring my memoir after I read Strangers by Belle Burden. Hers is also a divorce memoir, highly recommend, definitely should read, but it was very different from many other divorce memoirs I've read and different from a lot of advice that I have read and heard about how you should write a memoir. Hers is very straightforward, simple, but effective. So I thought, you know what, this is my jam. I can do this. This is easy. This is simple. Let's do it. So I started restructuring. I wrote an outline and thought, okay, cool, let's go. And then I started writing the chapters, and I got into Act 2 of this 5-act structure and kind of had this epiphany that I'm writing something completely different than what I had written before. It's a different story. It's a different book. So I am currently considering whether I want to go back and revise my previous version and stick with the structure that I had, or if I am really going to start on a completely different project, which this feels like it's a completely different project. I was feeling it, and now I'm honestly considering whether I'm just running away from it. So rather than run away from it, I'm going to give it some thought, and I'm going to start querying again when I get back home after the end of this week. So stay tuned on what I decide to do. The vow of poverty has gone very well in July, in that I had enough money saved up to pay all of my bills that were due in August. I always take care of everything at the beginning of the month, and I was able to do that. And so, yay, congrats to me. I maintained my discipline enough to have the money to pay all of my bills. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that, but I'm also considering that I should really rethink calling it a vow of poverty. Even though I explained what I was doing in a previous long form post here on Substack, and I was intentional about using the word poverty, I think more now I would call it a vow of dedication, because I'm not so concerned with how I spend the limited funds that I have while I'm living off student loans rather than working. I'm more concerned with what I'm doing with my time. So what I'm doing is I'm dedicating my time to these big goals of PhD and publishing a memoir, rather than trading my time for money. So let's try that. Going forward, I'm going to call it a vow of dedication. Also because I think poverty is just not quite the appropriate word to use, especially given that I know the implications of that word, and it just doesn't fit what I'm doing or where I'm at in life, thankfully. So that's pretty much it. That's how July went. I am about to go see Lindsey Sterling in concert with my friends and have a good rest of my time here in Washington. Till next time.